state is for America.
Kentucky voter Eric Wilson is concerned about his children's future.
I have to do now what is right to give them the lifestyle that they need.
H is for heroes and I is for ideals.
Wilson is so passionate that he leads the Kentucky 912 Project, a loosely affiliated group of voters who want to recapture the predominant mood of Americans in the wake of the September 11th terror attacks.
It's the day after September 11th, the day after when we wasn't red states or blue states. We were United States at that point.
That's Kentucky. Who lives in Kentucky?
But despite the nonpartisan mantra, Wilson's home state of Kentucky is a so-called red state, which currently favors conservative Republican candidates for public office. And groups like Wilson's are among the most conservative.
Bitcoins are divisible down to 8 decimal places.
Their popularity is partly a result of the growing strength of the Tea Party. They share the same values and concerns.
I like the fact that the Tea Party is kind of this nebulous thing that's a little hard to define, but essentially, when it comes down to it, smaller government, balanced budgets, less debt, and a simpler tax code, and dismantling this political class.
Those were key points that activist David Adams says helped elect Tea Party favorite Rand Paul to the U.S. Senate from Kentucky. Adams was Rand Paul's campaign manager and says the Tea Party is a force to reckon with.
It has really shaken up the Republican Party, in my view.
Democratic voter Liz Cook lives in Danville, Kentucky, site of the debate between Vice President Joe Biden and Republican challenger Paul Ryan. She's concerned about the rise of groups like 912 and the Tea Party and their desire to slash government programs.
It's a little scary because I view them as an extreme part of the Republican Party. And I think any extremist groups make it a challenge for other more moderate, reasonable discussions to surface.
And what's that?
But 912 director Eric Wilson says groups affiliated with the Tea Party are not extremist.
The Tea Party is a nebulous group. The Tea Party is a word. The Tea Party is really the sentiment of the people. The sentiment of the people hasn't changed. The sentiment of the people is still a frustration. It's still wanting their power, wanting their liberties back, and still shouting at the TVs and then shouting at their elected officials to say, hey, give me a voice.
It's no secret that Mitt Romney will most likely win Kentucky in November. Beyond that, Tea Party activists aim to elect candidates to Kentucky's legislature who will support the conservative agenda. A rollback of abortion rights, support of the coal industry, and cuts to medical care for the poor. To achieve that, Republicans will have to control the state's House of Representatives, something that has eluded them for almost a century. Kane, Farabaugh, VOA News, Danville, Kentucky.